Hi, my name is Annie Levitt. I'm so glad you're here. I wanted to share this video real quickly. For those of you who are interested in your spirituality, interested in your spiritual journey, and what that has to do with energy. Um, my name is Annie Levitt. This is my family in 2017. This was, I had a mental breakdown in 2015 and diagnosed with chronic depression and started antidepressants that actually worked and started to do all these things that you hear about, placed boundaries and started doing things for myself. And I started teaching dance again, which I hadn't done for 7 years while I was having my other two younger children. And I was really happy and fulfilled. And after a while, I was depressed again. And I was so disappointed because I was already on two medications and they were telling me to get on another medication. And I've been going to therapy for a few years and I was just done. There had to be something else going on because at this point, this picture is taken. I was running a dance studio, a successful dance studio. I was primary president in my church, over 70 kids, and successful marriage. And we just looked picture perfect. And I was miserable. So there had to be something else, right? This is my family today, a little bit different. We added another baby. Um, and the difference between those two pictures of how I feel about myself and how I feel about my spirituality and my connection to God, source, all that is crazy. I don't know how to put it into words, but seeing this is the Christmas season right now, I really wanted to share with you that you already know everything. Um, you just have forgotten. Everyone has forgotten. So everything that you learn that is truth along your spiritual path is just a remembering. I like to say that forgiveness is remembering who you truly are. And learning about ego means unlearning everything that you are not, right? Um, and what does energy have to do with this? And I remember in 2013, we went to Zion National Park and we stopped at a rock shop. And this crazy lady was checking me out. And she looked at me in the face and said, "I died." It was the very first thing she said to me. And I was really taken off guard. I'm like, okay. And she said, "Do you want to know what I learned while I was dead?" I was dead for 12 minutes. And she wasn't old. I think she had a heart attack and died in her late 30s or something. And I said, "Sure, I'm not going to argue with a crazy person." And she said, "Everything is energy." She just looked straight into my eyes and told me that everything is energy. And that's all there is. And I bought my rocks and walked away and thought she was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and smoking a little bit too much pop and didn't think anything of it. And here I am 5 years later. And what do I teach? Energy. Energy, baby. It's all about energy. Everything is energy. Energy was never created, it's never destroyed. And that is what you are made up out of. That's what everything is made up out of. And it's amazing. Um, what happened on my spiritual journey is at the same time that I had been successful and happy and was feeling unhappy again, my faith was really shaken in my religion. I grew up as a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, what people call Mormons, um, a lifelong member, and my parents were as well. And uh, lots of doubts, lots of fears, lots of upset, and didn't know how I felt about it anymore. And so when I started my spiritual journey in 2017, I really started diving in to all of these books that were telling me to meditate and everything about energy and the law of attraction and all of this stuff. And so much of it with any book, even listening to me right now, if it's truth, you'll know that it's truth. You'll feel it. If it's not truth, it's not. And so you pick and choose, what resonates with you and what doesn't. But I really, for a few years, thought, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep my faith and my religion. I don't know how it fits in with all this hippy dippy energy stuff. Well, years later and hundreds of books later, I can tell you that for me, with my religion, I already knew all of these things. I just wasn't using the words energy. I already knew all of these truths, and I'm grateful for that. And that's why I still take my kids to my church and teach them all of the doctrine, because it's truth, different words. But if you take away all of the cultural attachments to everything, it's truth. And so I want you to understand, no matter what religion you come from or not religion, that most religions are about moving up the energetic scale. Okay, because there are low levels of energy, there's medium, mid levels of energy, and there's high levels of energy. This is the energetic scale. What they have found with science is catching up with religions and spirituality is that emotions can be measured on a scale of their frequency of vibration. So I want you to look at the scale down at the red. These colors also align with the 7 energy centers in your body, which are called chakras. And the red is the root chakra. And do you see how the red, the point of the triangle, is very narrow? Well, those feelings of energy, that level of energy that you feel, is very slow. So the time that it takes an energy level of the red to get from one end to the other, go all the way up to the purple and look at enlightenment and divinity, it would take the feeling of peace can get all the way across the top of the triangle at the same amount of time that it would take, um, shame and guilt to get across. So you have the red, your root chakra, the orange, your sacral chakra, the yellow, solar plexus, green is your heart chakra, blue is your throat chakra, purple is your third eye chakra, and indigo is your crown chakra. If you look at enlightenment, which was 700 to 1,000, who you are before you chose to experience life as in a body is at 1,000. You are, as my church says, a child of God, or people say Christ consciousness, or your God being, God self. Okay, but when you come into a body, that automatically lowers your energy level. Okay, but this is our journey. This is our search for oneness and to return back to God, quote unquote, heaven, is to go back to what we are, which is ultimate consciousness. And depending on where you were born, what your financial background is, what your family traumas are, what your egoic beliefs are, you're going to have a whole mix of all of these levels in you. And if you look at where it says it's contracted when you are lower, and then you are expanded as you go higher. So you hear these words like ascension, spiritual ascension, expansion. What that means is you are expanding your energetic capacity to hold those higher emotions. And if you are higher, that means you can hold all of them. See how the whole triangle has all of them? But if you are stuck in suffering, you only have shame, guilt, apathy, grief, You only have those. That's what you see the world as. That's what you feel yourself as. That's what you see everyone else as. That's how the law of attraction works. That's all your world is. You don't have access to all of those higher feelings and emotions. But once you're at ultimate consciousness, this is what we call Christ consciousness. This is what I call charity, which is the pure love of Christ, which means you can experience any of these emotions. Oh my goodness, what is going on here? Hold on just a second. All right. So when you are at the higher triangle, you can feel all of these emotions and you don't react to them. So there's a quote from Eckhart Tolle. He's one of my favorite modern day spiritual teachers. It says, "You know who you believe you are by what bothers you." So, Christ like consciousness, that charity, you can experience guilt and shame or see it in someone else or have something happen, but it doesn't trigger you. You don't react to it. It doesn't contract you because you've expanded to hold it without having an ego identity around it. And so with when you expand and ascend, is you expand your energetic capacity to hold all of these emotions. So you're expanded and you can hold all of those emotions without having an ego identity. That's huge. If you look at the Hawkins scale, David Hawkins is an author I really enjoy. His book Letting Go is incredible about learning about this, especially if you are someone who appreciates and respects science or have someone you want to refer this to. He has great books about this. So it's the same scale. It just doesn't do the triangle the same. I really like to show people the triangle so you can see that these lower levels of energy are slower, okay? Whereas the higher levels are higher and faster. So this is where the law of attraction comes in, that high energy levels, high energetic things manifest faster. The higher you are, the faster things manifest. And this is where the miracles of Jesus Christ came in and other people who are higher level energies, because just like Jesus said, he attributes everything to God. He didn't do the miracles. He was in God self. He had that Christ-like consciousness, that he was an ultimate consciousness. He knew who he was, which was connected to God. So his healing was, like I say, a remembering what people really are, and that what is truth, and holding that in mind, and that heals. And now remember, it's based on people's beliefs. So I want you to look at these words I have over here. Pockets of lower energy. Some people learn about the energy scale and they go, okay, that means I've got to move up the scale and never move down. That's impossible. Okay, it would be like only taking right hand turns in a city. It's not going to work. What I like to say about pockets of lower energy, because it takes away a lot of the guilt and shame around things, is you have experiences from your childhood or other things or beliefs. These are subconscious beliefs that you don't know. Those are pockets of lower energy that you don't realize they're there. Now, we know they're there when lower energy things trigger you and people trigger you. But what I like to say, and I get this from the author, Frederick Dodson, his book, Levels of Energy, is blast out those pockets with higher energy things. And this is where religion comes in. This is where my religion saved me, because there's so many high energy things that you do in my religion that you do that kept me, no matter where I was in my life, around higher energy level things. So what happens with most people when they start finding about spirituality and all this stuff is they kind of throw the baby out with the bathwater. And what ego does is They take all of their lower pockets, their pockets of lower energy, their shame, their guilt, their grief, their fear, and they put it on the religion, the church that they ascribe to. And it makes you feel so good. It makes you feel right. It's all ego identities. And you say, what's wrong in the world is religion. What's wrong is with all these crazy people in the religion. And I am going to be this esoteric spiritual person and enlightened. Well, that's all well and good, and you can do whatever you want. But you automatically lower your energy when you stop. Like, I go to church every week. We sing hymns. That's a high energy level activity, just being around people singing hymns. You pray. You pray together in a group, super high energy level. We give, we serve, high energy, high energy, high energy. We ascribe to the 10 Commandments, which keeps your energetic level high. We pay tithing, super high energy. So all of these things that even if you are an absolute turd, okay, you're still balancing out those pockets of lower energy with all these high energy things, okay? That is something about religion. There's a book called Oneness that I really love. And it says, just like Eckhart Tolle says, the same thing. Religion should be a conduit towards your God self. It should be a healthy way for you to continue to become like God. Now, if you have too many pockets of lower energy around it and suffering around your religion, that's a personal decision. What you need is what you need to feel better. Sometimes we need boundaries, sometimes we need space. Because you're not realizing that everything that you're upset about is actually about you. It's not about the people in your church. It's not about all that other stuff. It's your stuff. So a lot of people in my church are like, the church lied, or these people lied, or you know what? Who cares? They're humans. They probably did. The chances of that happening is extremely high. Now, do I lie? Absolutely. Have I changed history to make myself feel better? Absolutely. So I'm just as guilty. I'm not saying one's right or one's wrong, but it's just an easy target. A marriage is an easy target. Religion's an easy target. Your body's an easy target, where ego places all of those contracted, fear-based, egoic beliefs. Okay. Now, the next thing we're talking about is who you are around. This is so important. The energy level of the people you spend your time with ends up being your median energy level. The end. I don't care if they're good people or bad people, because the truth is, everyone is at 1,000. Everyone is ultimate consciousness, whether they know it or not. But if they're doing lower energy things and they have a lot of lower energy, fear-based, egoic thoughts stuck in them, that's going to lower your energy. Doesn't matter. Okay. The next thing we're talking about is past traumas. So I believe in multiple lifetimes. I believe that what you're experiencing in this lifetime is an opportunity to forgive, because it's probably something you did in a past lifetime. And past traumas in this life and other lives are those pockets of lower energy, the shame, the guilt, the apathy, the grief. Okay. We know these are here because they show up in so many ways, like self-sabotaging behavior and all those other things. But just acknowledge they has nothing to do with who you are. It's just acknowledging that they're there and learning how to do the work to not be triggered by them. Byron Katie's work is amazing with this. Nicole LaPara is great with this. Eckhart Tolle is great with this. So many great things. When we come to money, okay, money has nothing to do with money. Money's energy. Okay, energy flows where your attention goes, and the world's attention around energy has been around for a freaking long time. So money is a super high energy thing. You have subconscious beliefs about money. It has nothing to do with money. It's about energy, which really to me is about your relationship with God. Because ultimate consciousness is oneness. You are enveloped in God's love, which you always are. But when you're stuck in these lower levels, you can't see that because you're contracted. All you can see is suffering. All you can do is getting by. Okay, so the world on an energetic level is around is below 200. Okay, they are stuck in pride, anger, desire, fear, grief, apathy, guilt, and shame. The majority of the world. Okay, and so that's where I'm grateful for my religion, because it taught me all of these other things and helped keep me at a higher energy level, even when I was being a poopy head. Ego. Okay, ego, there's so much I could share here. What I'm going to share is what ego does. It's like a parasite that lives off of your identity. So all of these feelings, if you believe they are you and a part of you, and you have all of these beliefs around them and triggers around them, that's how ego feeds off of you. The only way to release ego is to be able to feel and experience emotions and thoughts without reacting to them. This is what presence is called. This is what consciousness is called. This is what called being present is. You are able to witness yourself as a human body experiencing all emotions without getting triggered. The end. Okay, so moving up the energetic scale is a balancing act. You can do all kinds of high level energy crap, even when you're grieving, even when you know you live in a crappy part of town with a crappy house. There's tons of things you can do to move up the energetic scale. Now, the cool thing is like I have had a 700 experience, like twice, maybe for half a second each. That 700 level experience still has me at a higher energy level. It's amazing. Okay, so understand that most religions are about moving up the energetic scale. In my religion, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, there's 3 levels that we call them. There's the lower levels of energy. We call those the telestial, okay? Mid levels of energy, terrestrial. That's kind of where the world is. Remember, the world is right around below 200. And then the high levels of energy, that's our goal, is celestial, okay? And that's where we want to end up. Now, these higher levels of energy, the celestial, I'm not going to get into the details of them, but you are expanded enough to have these emotions freely flowing in you. Okay, 475, joy and creativity. 505, beauty, imagination. 510, power, initiative, integrity. 530, love, intuition, appreciation. 540, humor, happiness. 550, unconditional love. 570, ecstasy, exaltation. 600, bliss, peace, serenity, lightness. 700, oneness, non-duality, vast awareness. 1000, infinity, divinity. So those are some high vibing emotions, right? And that is our goal. That's who I want to be all of the time. Now, you can't be those all the time if you are resisting any of the mid or lower things, or you identify with them. So if you complain and blame all the time, that's 180, right? That's a low level. But here's the thing. Blaming and complaining is better than being worried all the time. Being shy is actually a super low energy feeling. Okay. Um, the lowest ones are guilt, shame, humiliation, and hatred. All right. Now, we all know what those feel like. When you resist those feelings and you do not allow yourself to feel those emotions, they are stuck in you. So even when we add in, like, reading the teachings of Jesus is level 700. The Bible itself is around 500, even though there's places that have been changed and stuff, so they're lower level because ego has come in and changed the words to fulfill an egoic purpose, right? Because the ego is all about separation. So, Christ comes in and goes, "Gosh, guys, you're not getting the point. Like, I am the Son of God. You are too. We are all one. Like, you have all these rules and these labels, and they mean nothing. And we still have those parts that are teaching us that, which is amazing. And then you have ones that they changed it because ego can go, hey, if people think they're a piece of crap, we can feed off of that for millennia, you know um and that's how ego works. So I really hope that learning about these levels of energy can really help you in a way. um for me, it was just everything to understand that it has nothing to do with who I am, my worthiness. It was where I am. And that's one of my favorite quotes. You can't get everything that you want, but you can have everything that you're willing to be. So if you're willing to be peace, if you're willing to be joy, a person that is peaceful and joyous and do those things, you have to be willing to give up all the stuff that you get out of um, you feeling bad about yourself. You get your jollies off of feeling bad about yourself. There's no way around it. You just do. You love being upset at other people because it makes you feel better. Those are those pockets. They're just there. That's okay. So it's like this dance. It's like this beautiful choreography of ascending the scale. And once you realize that what emotions are just vibrations, and that if you can fully feel it, it helps you expand. Man, isn't that such a difference than, oh, this was my past and this is my horrible thing that happened to me and this is who I am? Because every time you say, this is who I am, like, I don't say I'm a member of that church. I don't even say like I'm a mom that much. I don't even say like I'm a woman that much, because I really have tried to die. I really have tried to die to every identity that I have, even my marriage, letting that go, really being okay with everything being taken away from me, kind of like Job. But the beautiful part is sometimes physically it doesn't have to be taken away from you if you energetically feel that and are okay with it. It's beautiful. Then you can expand on your own. And the cool thing about this with all the COVID stuff is that the higher energy level you are, the less sick you get. You are not susceptible to those lower energy beliefs and things, which attracts sickness. Even like keeping a clean house, okay? Higher energy things like cleanliness is because you are giving your attention to it. Who you are is ultimate consciousness without ego is so powerful. I don't even know how to tell you how powerful it is. So even with ego and even in a human body, your consciousness is still so powerful that just giving your full attention on something, if it is of spirit, if it's something that's divine, you will expand it and make the world a better place. Now, if it's something that's lower, you will absolve it, you will dissolve it, you will erase it. That is so cool, okay? That's what the atonement is it erases anything that's a lower energetic thing that is not who you are. Because who you are is a piece of God. Okay. And so putting your attention on things, that's what cleaning is just putting your attention on something. And that's it. Either you're doing it or you have a cleaning service that does it. Someone is giving attention to it. When you don't give attention to something, what does it attract? Dust, dirt, clutter. Those are all lower energy things. And so it has nothing to do with your worth and your value. It's just higher energy practices and lower energy practices. I really hope this will help you at the Christmas season, because singing Christmas carols, lighting candles, being by a fire, being with your loved ones, forgiving old grievances, giving gifts, all of these are super high energy practices. And I don't want you to let what's going on in the world take away the opportunity for you to expand yourself. And when those lower pockets show up, just feel them. If you have a hard time feeling them, get help feeling them. Look for people who are aware of this work, um, about expanding your consciousness and releasing ego, because there's two things you're going to do in your life. One is recognize ego. So recognize everything that you are not, so you can remember who you are. The other part is the atonement, is forgiving and letting go. And that's the remembering of who you are, which is ultimate consciousness. And so grateful that you spent the time to sit here and listen to this. I really hope that it helped you take away something helpful. I know that this changed my life, and I'm grateful for my religion. I'm grateful for that my kids can be in it, because it's a great pointer to truth. And I love that, because truth will never be found in words. Truth will never be found in a book. Truth is, God is, you are.